Welcome to God with George Ortega. This is episode number 134. I'm recording it on Wednesday, April 28th at 2021 at 7:48 p.m. Eastern Time. And how you doing, God? I want to first talk about, I guess we got a lot to talk about, I guess, maybe, but I want to start out with this meetup that you've had me host for, I don't know how many months now, maybe 3, 4, I don't know. But, it's supposed to be, and the question is like, what will the next 4 years look like? What do you believe the next, or, then I also ask, well, what do you want the next 4 years to look like? And, then I've got in parentheses, liberals only, because I had this conservative come on, saying, oh, we have a right to not wear masks and vaccines aren't effective. And, I wasn't going to allow that kind of evil stupidity, I guess, to, I wasn't going to be a channel for that. So anyway, but even it's like, I'm thinking that there was this guy on last night. He claims he's liberal, but a lot of what he was saying, I wasn't liberal. so anyway, it's like, God, you've had me, I think you've had me decide this already. So what you had me do, and I guess this is for the benefit of the audience, whatever. But what you had me do is go over to the Westchester on my, walk. I took a walk earlier and, ended up there and then did a little food shopping and stuff. And you had me write the description of a new meetup. Then I'm going to start maybe later tonight, maybe tomorrow, that is going to be about cannabis. Because, God, back before there was civilization, you gave us this wonderful gift of alcohol. And it was wonderful. It was like a medicine back then, because back then you have to imagine that everybody was afraid of each other, of pretty much everything. More people, more tribes, warfare, fear of warfare, all this stuff. So, and I'm not sure how much language they had, 20, 30,000 years ago. But, and actually, even with that, I want to do some research, because I want to make this parallel between alcohol and cannabis. And so I want to actually really know more for sure what, when alcohol they believe was first discovered. I have no idea. It could have been 10, 20,000 years ago. But so yes, my premise is that was alcohol enabled civilization. Without it, I don't think they could have well, maybe, or could have taken them a lot longer, maybe not, because I don't think it's an accident that alcohol is a sacrament in Judaism. I don't know if Hindus back then drank, but in Christianity, so anyway, so so this is going to be a series, basically inviting people who are, using cannabis medically, or if they're in a state where it's completely legal, recreationally, and we want to talk about how it's helping their lives and how it can potentially help the world, transition from this bizarre, civilization threatening era, just look at climate change alone. But it goes so much beyond that, the level of self-interest, of competition, of lack of intelligence, lack of creativity, tribalism. It's just across the board. We need to evolve to a higher state of humanity to continue, with our civilization. And I believe cannabis can be a major fuel for that. Just to draw another analogy, when I think that people can appreciate, back I think in the 50s, in the 40s, whatever, maybe people drank a cup of coffee in the morning and maybe one in the afternoon, I don't know. But today people drink 4 or 5 cups of coffee, and I'm not saying that's healthy, but sometimes I think people drink coffee to excess. But coffee in this country, certainly, and probably other countries, it's probably a fuel for economic prosperity for our capitalists. It gets people to work more, which is what our economy is about. So, so yeah, again, so thank you, God, for having me, because like last night, I want to enjoy these meetups, and I did not enjoy, because there's another person who's like, she claims she's liberal, and a lot of our ideas are, but she's an extremely negative, pessimistic person. And as much as I'd like to help them people feel good about the future, it's too frustrating to try to say, hey, like Republican Party's over. The insurrections with 2022 and 2024 elections are going to be out. Republicans are done. We can finally get, people aren't ready to understand that, believe that. And I'm not, apparently I'm not succeeding to any great extent in helping them understand that. So, I will hope that they become, for their own good, more optimistic about this. But in time, they will, All right, so yeah, so like I will, and so God, now you've had me for tonight and through the weekend. You're having me make some judgment calls, some moral decisions. For example, tonight I was planning to attend a Torah class. It's every Wednesday, and I'd missed before, and I want to be a bit more loyal to it because it's a good class. I really enjoy, the rabbi and all. But, Biden's speech on, and this class generally goes from 8 to 10 or so, and Biden's speech is at 9, so I'm going to miss the class. And the reason I'm going to miss it, God, is because, like, come on, I mean, like, as we're studying Torah, but to a great extent, we're studying stuff that is largely inconsequential. I mean, yes, if we want to enhance our ability to be discriminating, discerning, to distinguish right from wrong, to strengthen our wisdom, okay, that's valid for that purpose, but not when important events like this speech, I think, are happening. And the other thing I think you may have me do, and this is like, it's up in the air. I'm going to look at the weather. I haven't given blood in a long time, long time. And so, like, joining a synagogue, it's great. I mean, the synagogue is so great in helping people to do good they may not otherwise do. So I scheduled to give blood this Sunday. And then I'm thinking, like, Sunday is the New York City Cannabis Parade at 10:30, and I'm supposed to be giving blood at 12. I can't do both. And at first I was saying, oh, I'm going to have to miss the parade, because, like, and then I'm thinking about it, and God, thank you for clarifying my mind. And the idea is like, all right, I have a very, very strong conscience. So basically you're making me, think that, well, I've committed to giving blood, so there's no way that I'm not going to do it now. In other words, like, I'm going to look for another blood giving drive somewhere else. It doesn't have to be through the synagogue. It's the good deed that counts. And so, like, I'll do that hopefully within the next 2-3 weeks. I'll find one and do that. But for Sunday, yeah, if at all possible, I want to walk in that parade. I'm not going to march. I stroll. I saunter. But so and which means that, like, Saturday night, I want to kind of like get sleep early. So God, if you could do that for me. Yeah. So and God, here's another. I mean, it's funny how, like, I think the appropriate thing to do when I'm talking with you in this series is, I ask you for help on things, and actually, I think I need to go back to that a bit more, because I thank you a lot, and I explain things that you already know. Maybe I do it for the sake of the audience, but yeah, I want to thank you for something else. So yesterday I didn't consume any cannabis. Today I didn't consume any cannabis, and what's great is, like, yeah, this morning I kind of like missed it a little, right? But and also I felt the need to sleep, and I'll get into that a little, after this. But the idea is that, like, I feel great, like, as I explained, over the last several episodes, cannabis is wonderful, but it is like high octane gasoline in that it like drives me to think more, feel more, think more clearly, be more creative. But that takes energy. And so it can, and perhaps, perhaps I need to better titrate it, and it's been 2.5 years almost, and I think I'm getting better and better at that, but what's wonderful is like, I feel great today. I mean, in other words, like, it feels good to not be taking cannabis. And I was thinking, God, of like going a week or two without, to allow the endocannabinoid system, the cannabis receptors to replenish themselves. Because what happens is, like, when they're receiving cannabis from the outside, not from within the system, then the body thinks, oh, we don't need all these receptors because we've got so much cannabis coming in, and so we lose some, and that accounts for the tolerance effect that you need more and more. So, I was thinking of so what I think I'm going to do is I'm not going to do any cannabis until Sunday, and if I go into the parade, and God willing, I hope you allow me to do this, because I really, and I'll wear this shirt, I guess, I better wash it before. I mean, I just did a load of laundry yesterday, so, but I think I want to wear the shirt. But yeah, so I'll hopefully I can do some for the, and then I think I want to go back to maybe another week or two of this tolerance break. Yeah. Oh, that's my okay. So anyway, so that's good. So I appreciate that. And like when I do my meetup, I've got like a lot of people are so misinformed by, about cannabis because they've been lied to, and literally so egregiously lied to by our government, and you understand Trump's administration and the Democrats really haven't been all that much better about it for decades, because the evidence about the utility of cannabis, the medicinal properties, the safety relative to alcohol and even coffee, caffeine, are very well documented. So like, so people understandably, think, oh, like there's withdrawal effects. No, I mean, in my experience, no. Again, like, I just like, I enjoy, I very much enjoy doing it. It just like makes me a better person. And then when I take these breaks, and I haven't taken a break like this for over 6 months, it might be 7 or 8, I don't know. Sometimes I'll take them every 3 months, whatever. But when I take these breaks again, it's been my experience that, wow, this is good. I can rest. I guess that's what it is. Like sometimes cannabis is kind of like running a marathon or something. I don't know. But so appreciate that. All right. So God, what else? So I was gonna like watch the speech, but I think I want to listen. Because Biden's speech tonight, his first address to the nation, what he's done in 100 days, and like I don't think I can have more praise for Biden. I was I wanted Sanders to become president, but what Biden is doing, the trillions of dollars he's investing in the infrastructure, a new stimulus package aimed at families, with kids and stuff. He's doing what the Democrats should have been doing or trying to do more seriously, because again, like the Democrats are only now, just like they've stopped pretending to be good. They understand that it's got to be genuine because of the trouble we're in, because of climate change and so much that has happened because of their decades of just posturing. Yeah, we're the good guys. No, you haven't been all so good. So, but now, I think Biden is the real deal. And whether it's out of his, I think he's a good man in general, but whether it's out of goodness or necessity, he's doing what he needs to do, and he's doing it majorly. So I want to support him as much as I can. Thank goodness. Thank you. All right, what else? So you had me, God, thank you. You had me order, 2 I was gonna get just one, but the price is so good. Like I was looking online, you had me look, and Amazon had them like one for $24, you know, this 24 by 36 poster frame. So I look at Target and I see they're selling for $10 each. So I got two. You know, so one is good for the Beatle, you know, which is just the same thing that I'm wearing, you know, the Let It Be album. And then I'm gonna I think I'm gonna get the next poster I'm gonna get is maybe Pink Floyd, because like, you know, Dark Side of the Moon is an amazing album. It's the most popular album in the history of albums, probably remain that way. In general, I don't think their music is as good as the Beatles, but that album is amazing, and their music, I think, is, you know, that's what I listened to before I shifted over to the Beatles. So so anyways, I got those two. Just, you know, I ordered it today, and they had them in stock, and I picked them up. I probably won't frame the poster tonight, but maybe tomorrow. All right, now come to some asks. I want to ask you for stuff. Excuse me. I want to meditate more. You know, sometimes when a lot is going on, I feel the need to do stuff. And fortunately, so much that is going on doesn't need my assistance. I mean, it just doesn't. I mean, Biden, the Democrats are doing what needs to be done, and it's getting done. So, so I want to kind of like, you know, just meditate a lot, because I feel it feels so good to do that. All right, what else? Thank you for this banana and water and kind of like half a, you know, about a teaspoon of cocoa powder smoothie. It's so good. I mean, like the banana wasn't, you know, completely ripe. I like it to be a little sweeter, but it was good. I just got the bananas at Target when I was there, but it's good. So thanks. And again, you know, I weighed myself today, and like, you know, it was like 151.5. Again, my Target goal was 153. So I'm really doing good there. And thank you, God. Thank you for that. All right, but what else do I need to ask you for? I need to ask you to, I've got a few things and I forget, you know, all right, like, well, it'd be nice if you had me begin painting, you know, again, that canvas has been there for several months. And so like, yeah, actually, God, what I'd like you to do, because there's things that I need to do, and there's like a bunch of little things, you know, I do this every once in a while. You make me do these things and it works out well. So what I want you to do is have me make a list of all this stuff, you know, and that'll help me. You know, I look at the list, and it's great to cross things off, you know, done, done, done. So you know, do me a favor, because there are things that I want to do. And, you know, like I told you, know, I was telling you that I want to take a kind of a break, but I like getting stuff done. So it's the break is kind of like to not push myself, I guess, too much. I don't know, but to meditate a lot, to get enough sleep, you know. And again, like the break is partly, you know, not doing the cannabis, because the cannabis does exert energy, you know. And one can, you know, I tend to microdose, but I was microdosing pretty frequently. And again, as I was saying, it does in a curious way rev up your system, but you know, because it's curious because it makes you a lot calmer. But within that calmness, you know, there's a lot of activity going on, mental, emotional, creative. So so yeah, I want to kind of like take a rest from that, you know. It's kind of like cannabis to me is like the work of evolving myself and evolving the world. And that's what this this new meetup is going to be about, you know. And the other thing, God, is like, so I want, you know, I really want to start socializing while almost 2.5 years of medical cannabis, I haven't socialized with anyone about it, because I haven't talked about it with anyone until after New York State legalized, you know, just recently, you know, March 31st, about a month ago. So so it'd be great to just find some kindred souls, you know, because like when you get into a cannabis head, I mean, those who drink understand. If you're drinking with people who also drink, you know, it's a kind of a communal mood, and it's very enjoyable. Same thing with cannabis. No, it's actually a lot better. That's what I tell you. But so yeah, so like what I'd like to do, and I think I'm going to base it. I could base the group in White Plains. No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start the group in White Plains because I'd love to just find some people around here, God, to just not socialize with, because the cannabis makes socialization so much easier for me. But then after a month or two, I want to change the zip code from 10605 to 10017, which is Grand Central Station, Midtown Manhattan, so that I can attract a lot of people from the city, and maybe even like run meetups, let's say in Bryant Park, where what we do is like, we will consume our cannabis before entering the park, and then and again, this is not the kind of like, there's different ways to consume. One is like social consumption that would be suitable for this, being in the public. And another kind of consumption would be, well, if you really want to experience stronger effects that in my experience, it's kind of like nice to be home, and meditating, listening to music perhaps. But the point, God, is that I would really appreciate your doing that, to have me find some people that I can enjoy this with. Okay, about 6.5 minutes left. Oh God, thank you for having me switch over. So like when I was walking through the Westchester Mall today, again, thank you God, because it is like an art museum. It's such a beautiful place. The interior design, the storefronts, the display windows are so beautifully designed. So much, photography and all. So like, but you had me, rather than listening to the Beatles, you had me listen to newscasts, I have these apps for these networks, and I was listening to various news, live feeds and stuff. And so God, another ask, I want to continue doing this. That, like, it was hard for me to pay attention that much while the George Floyd trial was going on, because it's painful. It's like, it's really painful to go through that. But now that that's over, and now Biden's just doing the infrastructure and the family stimulus and all this stuff, a lot of really wonderful things are happening. And we're going after Giuliani. Thank goodness. They just raided his apartment and office today. And so like, I want to be a part of that more. So again, and even when I was walking through town, I was listening to these, either Spotify as a podcast or just through their apps. So thanks for having me do that, and I want to do more of that, because, and this is actually kind of like a first for me, because like I've worked in politics, since I campaigned for Bill Clinton in '92. I was like the office manager there on weekends, here in White Plains. But since then, even through the Obama years, I would kind of like say, all right, I've done my job. With Obama, I spent a year and a half getting him a filibuster-proof Senate, which he like pretty quickly squandered, and then I would just say that, I've done my job getting, helping him get elected and all that stuff. And then I would just like not pay that much attention to politics. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to, it seems like that, that protecting democracy is a 24/7 kind of a thing. It can't be just like a seasonal, oh yeah, let's do it every 4 years and forget about it. We've got, basically what I'm trying to say, God, is you need, please help me to keep my eye on these guys, to make sure that they're doing the right thing. Because like, in the past, you have actually, had me come up with assessments, evaluations, things about what's going on that I would then talk about to people, and then it comes out in the news, and perhaps it's coincidence, perhaps not, but I do believe that I can contribute somewhat, by being better informed. Again, it's wonderful, and I appreciate your kind of like making the situation where my participation really isn't that necessary, if at all. But I want to move things forward as strongly and as quickly as they can, because there is so much to do, and because it is so important. Not for us so much, well, for us a lot also, but especially for future generations, you know. All right, we've got like 3 minutes left, so this is good. So I'm glad I got this done. And so I'm also I want to order like with these T-shirts, you know, like I saw a couple of young guys that were wearing kind of like, they looked kind of like modern day hippies. And that's another thing I want to do. Like when I wear a T-shirt like this through town, it's kind of like an emblem of who I am. Yeah, I'm about, you know, the 60s and the Beatles, you know, liberalism, which is what made this country great, if anybody, you know, hasn't realized that. So God, you know, thank you for putting in my mind earlier today and giving me the resolve to get another 5 or 6 of these kinds of shirts. I could get like an Abbey Road Beatles shirt, you know, the Pink Floyd shirt. Got to think of what other shirts. And I want to get a vegan shirt. You know, there's one that I found, God, that's pretty cool. It says like Eden, you know, the Garden of Eden was vegan or something like that. You know, that's pretty cool. But the music ones, I think, are the ones that I really want to focus on. I don't want to kind of, you know, I want this to be social more than activist. You know, I want to meet people. I want to kind of like, you know, hang out and just like, even like, you know, because also like, God, when I was growing up, young kids didn't have that much to do with older people. But today, you know, in my meetups in Manhattan and White Plains, young kids are constantly coming to, they are very comfortable with us older folk. And we kind of like, you know, provide them some wisdom from our years. And what I want from them is like their perspective on what's going on, because I don't know, they must see the world so much differently than I do, than my generation does. So, so I'm looking forward to that. All right, so what else? Oh God, thank you. You had me upload episodes to Manhattan Neighborhood Network, my CELAG for a Pandemic-Free Future series, which is on every Monday, you know, on that station, the Manhattan cable station. And so now I've got uploaded episodes through February 7th, 2022. So that's great. And I think what before that, all right, so that's good. Anyway, so like I've got about 28 seconds left. Audience, thanks for watching. Catch this series every Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. on White Plains Community Media Channel. One thing I'm going to mention, when I'm taking cannabis, I talk better. You know, I'm relaxed. I'm not stumbling over my words as much. So that's one benefit, right? Have a great evening, and God willing, I will see you soon.